In this video, I'm going to be talking about this letter that I got that says "Hi Neighbor" on it, and why this is one of the best pieces of advertising material that I've ever gotten. Because guess what? This isn't actually a letter from my neighbor, even though it appears as such. It's written in pen. Well, actually, it was completely printed. And there's some principles on this letter that you could use that would allow you to stand out from your competition in the digital advertising world and prevent yourself from being thrown in the figurative trash. Because guess what? If your advertisement looks, sounds, and appears like an advertisement, then guess what? It's going to be treated as such appropriately and it's going to get ignored. But what was it about this piece of advertising collateral that made me consume every single word of it and actually reach out to the owner of this company and figure out if I can actually get my windows done? Because that's what this ad is actually about. It's about getting my windows replaced. So without further ado, let's dive in and dissect this piece of direct response gold and how you can use it in your own advertising promotions on Facebook, for example. All right, so first things first over here, what we want to talk about and address is this, and this is what I like to call a pattern interrupt. Okay, the idea of a pattern interrupt is really that if I open up my mail and, I have like a stack of mail over here, right? These are just like the different mail pieces that I have. And then all of a sudden, there's this like piece over here. It's going to make me look at that with my eyes and be like, huh? What is this? And the Hi Neighbor and like the slightly smudged pen, it just makes it seem so real. Like I literally thought that this was a neighbor of mine reaching out to me. And so a pattern interrupt is very, very important whenever we have some piece of advertising. We want to stand out. And so in a digital age, how do we do that? And it's really quite simple, right? If you look at it, the Instagram feed or the Facebook feed, for example, which is where I've spent over $50 million on paid ads, usually you have a post, right? Over here, it's maybe an image. And then right after, you may see a video, and then there may be some sort of writing over here. And then all of a sudden, imagine if they're scrolling down and they were to see someone with some sort of an obscure object in their hand, right? And they've got like a really big expression on their face. You would stop scrolling and ask yourself, well, what is this? I want to see more. And then you would probably as well then, this is a hand, you would tap play on it. And so that's what I did over here. The tap play is the equivalent of me tearing this envelope open. Okay, so we want to make sure we have some sort of a pattern interrupt. Okay, and so what's the next thing after that? Okay, so once we have our pattern interrupt, we then want to go and take a look at the promotion itself. Now, in this promotion, what we can see is it goes directly without beating around the bush as to who this person is, right? This guy's name is Chris Dunn, and he's the president of so-and-so. This is what you would call a direct ad, okay? Meaning it's getting to the point. It's not like putting in a bunch of fluff over here like, hey neighbor, I was just walking around your property and I noticed yada yada yada. No, it's getting directly into like, hey, this is who I am, intro. Okay, it's getting into really credibility, right? 6,400 of your neighbors have replaced their windows into more safe, comfortable energy. So this is essentially getting into cred, okay? This over here is also getting into now the actual benefit that's to be had by continuing to read. All right, so here's who I am. I'm the president. Okay, so this is important. This is the president himself reaching out to me. He's got all this credibility. It's other neighbors of mine that have this, have had this benefit. And then also it actually ties. It ties into what? It ties into the pattern interrupt. Hi neighbor. All right, how does it tie into it? Well, it's talking about 6,500, 6,400 of your neighbors. So it's not just using some like random pattern interrupt and then not completing the loop, if you will, right? Because otherwise there would be like bait and switch. And you could argue this is kind of bait and switch, but it's relevant to me. I am a homeowner. I do have neighbors that are doing this thing right now. So it's still got me intrigued. I want to know what this is about. So if you've been considering upgrading your home, now is a great time. So do you see how it's like, it's using conditional language, right? So a lot of people, they make the mistake of using absolute language, right? So what's absolute language? Absolute language is using words like you probably, it's a big assumption, you are or you will, right? These are all like big asses, assumptions, all right? So what they're doing is that if you have been considering, so it's using this conditional language. Maybe you're this person, maybe you're not. But if you've been considering upgrading your home, well, now may be a great time. And then here's what's great about this, right? No one actually sits around thinking about upgrading their windows, just to be straight, right? Like I've had the same damn windows for years now. And the thing is that I need a reason to consider this. So this letter indirectly is actually making me consider it, right? Because I haven't been sitting here considering this at all. This is great interruption based advertising, right? Like that's inherently what Facebook is if you think about it. I'm not going out there searching for a window contractor, you know, in a physical store. I'm not going on Google searching for this. They came to me. It's the same thing with the Facebook ad. You're coming to the prospect. So you want to give them a reason why. And so this over here, and they've even underlined it themselves, and I'm going to underline it again. This is the reason why. Okay, and I want you to understand this very, very clearly if you're watching this right now. I'll even look into the freaking camera and say this. If you are in the business of any kind of trade, for example, roofing, remodeling, right, solar, windows, you know, this is one of those things that don't fall into the category of what I like to call the big three. Okay, what is the big three? So the big three are essentially wealth, relationships, and then health. These are things that people actively spend time thinking about. Like, I need to make more money. I need to fix my marriage. Oh, I need to get divorced. Or, hey, I need to lose weight. Whatever it is, right? They actively sit down and think about these things. A window replacement is not something people will sit down to think of. You need to give them a reason why. And so the reason why is we're offering one of our best promotions of the year. Special sale, big discount, flash sale, Black Friday, Christmas, New Year's, Boxing Day. Think special, think discount, think sale. That's a strong enough reason why for people to now consider doing this. Okay, otherwise, they're not going to want to fork out money that they could be spending, again, on any of these things or just saving. So you want to make it seem like we're giving you a very, very good deal. It's limited, right? It's for the winter. And really, here's my information, right? This is what you would call now a call to action, right? Your CTA. Hey, I've given you a reason why. Give me a call now, right? This is what you would call risk reversal. They're saying it's no obligation. So this is your risk reversal. It's no obligation. And guess what? They've even got a winter installation method. This is great. This is what you would call a unique mechanism. So a unique mechanism is their vehicle that is proprietary, that is different to everyone else. If you were to look up winter installation method in Calgary, Alberta, or freaking Memphis, Tennessee, you'll probably find no search results. You can't just Google this and figure out what it is. This is the specific company over here in question that knows how to do this, right? It's going to be specifically Renewal by Anderson of BC that has this winter installation method. So they're giving you this additional reason as to why they're better, they're different. They're not just some handyman. They've been doing this for a while. They've got an entire method. And then on the other side, just to wrap it all up, and I freaking love this, they're again reiterating on a strong reason why you should do this now. Winter savings event. I said that in such a brown way. Event. It's an event where you can save 20%, meaning you're not going to get this in spring. You're not going to get this in summer. You're not going to get this in fall. This is for now. So they're also packing urgency into this. You see what I'm saying? And then again, they're giving you risk reversal, okay? And then they're even sweetening up the offer, right? Additional benefits. So, I mean, this promotion freaking knocked it out the park, right? Great call to action, very simple. It's a direct phone number. Like, this is a 10 out of 10. And so what we can take away now is how can you create these same elements in your ad? Well, it's really quite simple. All you need to do is make sure that you go very direct. This is one of the best ways that you can start an advertising campaign, by the way. One of the best ways to start an advertising campaign is to go direct. Don't go indirect and go story-based and, oh, well, Michelle, your neighbor from 3 houses down, she had an issue with her windows and, she called us, and freaking go straight for the kill. You get someone's attention, you get the pattern interrupt, then go for the kill. I'm going to get you this outcome, right? Making your homes more safe, more comfortable, more energy efficient, just like your 6,400 neighbors with our winter installation method. If you've been considering an upgrade, now's the best time. Why? Because we have a winter savings event. All right, not only will we give you 20% off, you'll save $1,000 guaranteed. And guess what? The best part is that you call us out for a no obligation quote by just tapping the link below. In the worst case scenario, what ends up happening is you get a full inspection free of charge. You know exactly where you stand with your energy efficiency in your windows. And then you don't have to do anything for now if there's no issue. All right, best case scenario, you get the freaking savings. So just tap the link below and we'll see you on the other side. You could easily accompany that with an image, right? An image like what they have over here. They sent me this, you can see this over here. They sent me this flyer as well, right? You could have a video of you saying exactly what's on this letter as a talking head, as a spokesperson. The opportunities and the possibilities here are endless. But what I want you to get is very, very specific. What I want you to get is that these elements will always work in any market, in any niche, in any vertical, for any business. Give them urgency, give them a reason why, give them risk reversal, make the offer sweet, give them a unique mechanism, be direct about it, and you will find some great results with that. Now, if you want to learn more about advertising, you are welcome to go and join my school community at school.com/entrepreneur. If you get inside there and you're accepted, you will have exclusive access to courses on media buying, on copywriting, how I've spent tens of millions of dollars on Facebook ads, how I've been able to get results like this and this and this for my clients, for myself, beating KPIs, getting a ton of appointments. Everything inside here is absolutely free. I love giving away information, so I don't sell information. What I do sell transparently is coaching and implementation. I have higher end agency owners, for example, that are already doing 7 figures that want to get to 8 figures, or I have coaches and consultants that want to get to multi 7 figures. They start working with me. My information is always going to be available for free, so go in, dive in, use it. If you don't want to work with me directly, that's fine. Just be inside here, engage, leave me a comment on this video if you want. I will continue to make these videos for the better good of all the marketing people out there, because I've been peddled and sold trash over the years, and I just want to give straight value. So I hope you enjoyed this breakdown, and if you want to see other videos like this, let me know. If you want to see anything else, let me know as well. Peace.